Today is, of course, a special day for mothers, and let me first say Happy Mother's Day to any and all people who, in some way, shape, or form, mother someone. Mothering is an important calling or vocation from God, and it's one that doesn't necessarily need to arise from having given birth to someone. Grandmother's mother, aunt's mother, neighbor's mother, sisters can mother. Many people mother. But as we're focusing today on all of the joy and love about Mother's Day and motherhood, I think it's also important for us to recognize that while for some women today is joyful and filled with love, others face great pain. Some women long to be mothers, and for whatever reason they can't be mothers. Some women are reminded of children that are no longer part of their lives for whatever reason. And some children find today very difficult because they don't have mothering people in their lives to share today's love and affection with. In the midst of our love and appreciation and respect for mothers of all stripes and colors and types today, we also want to hold in prayer those who face today with painful emotion. We want to keep them in mind as well and pray for them on this day. In addition to remembering mothers in our lives and those who do mother, today also provides us an opportunity to consider one of the shamefully often, overlooked features of God. We rightfully call God our Father, for that's who God is, but God is also our mother. On this Mother's Day, we are afforded an opportunity to consider what it means for us to look upon God our mother. In both Luke and Matthew's gospel, Jesus likens himself to a mother hen that wants to protect the city of Jerusalem or his disciples under his wings as a mother hen. He likens himself to a mother hen in that way who protects her chicks under her wings. But in the Old Testament, we have even more vivid depictions of God as our mother. So, after the time that the Hebrews spent wandering about in the desert from their captivity in Egypt, their deliverance that Moses brought them out of the land of Egypt, God led them by a pillar of fire and cloud to Mount Sinai. We all know that story where, of course, Moses handed down the sacred 10 Commandments. And that's called the law. But these were not the only laws for the Hebrews. The entire book of Leviticus in the Bible is a book of laws. And if that weren't enough, we have a whole other book, the book of Deuteronomy, dedicated to even more laws. In fact, the name Deuteronomy itself means second law book. It's in Deuteronomy that we have this wonderfully explicit, poetic even, imagery about what it means to speak or think or conceive of God, our mother. And so it goes. For I will proclaim the name of the Lord, ascribe greatness to our God, the rock, whose work is perfect, and all whose ways are just, a faithful God, without deceit, just and upright. Remember the days of old. Consider the years long past. Ask your parents, and they will inform you, your ancestors, and they will tell you. When the Most High apportioned the nations, when God divided humankind, fixed the boundaries of the peoples according to their numbers of gods, the Lord's own portion was her people. God sustained them in a desert land, in a howling wilderness wasteland, shielded them, cared for them, guarded them as the apple of her eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, as it spreads its wings, takes them up and bears them aloft on its pinions, the Lord alone guided her people. And God set them atop the heights of the land and fed them with produce of the field. God nursed them with honey from the crags, with oil from the flinty rock, curds from the herd and milk from the flock, with fat of lambs and rams. Bashan bulls and goats together with the choicest wheat. You drank fine wine from the blood of grapes. This passage goes on and ends by circling back around to the beginning. God the rock that bore us, the rock that gave us birth. This is our mothering God, God our mother, the Lord the Most High. This is what God our mother does. She provides, she protects, she sustains. She is a faithful God without deceit, just and upright. In this time we find ourselves in the world, this strange time, it's comforting for us to know that God is a rock, a solid foundation on which we can rest. God, our mother, is the rock that gave us birth. We can build our hope, our trust, our resolve upon this rock, particularly in our relationship with God and Jesus, the one who does liken himself to a mother hen who will protect us. For indeed, God is our rock, as the prophet Hannah says. There is no holy one like the Lord. Our God is a rock. There is no one besides our God. There is no rock like our God. In the midst of all goodness, in the midst of all trouble, in the midst of plenty, in the midst of little, God is with us, an unmovable rock, steadfast, constant, watchful, and strong. This is our mother, the protector, the deliverer, the sustainer. This is our God, and there is no other rock to which we can surely cling for salvation, healing, and for peace.